a large family that are outspoken at this point in time, which brings me back to what I said about Cindy. It's fucking disgusting that you're protecting your daughter in this circumstance, even though it's heartbreaking. And you don't wish anybody would ever be in that situation. And there's probably all kinds of things that I haven't considered because I'm not privy to them. But on its bare bones, Cindy Murray not saying something out here in the public on behalf of Jack and Lily really emphasize how she felt about Jack and Lily as far as I'm concerned. Did she love them? Then why are you protecting their killer? Straight up. Justice for Malaya is going to have to come at some point in time. And chances are she's going to get off lighter than anybody in the circumstance, but we all recognize that something other than what you guys are leading on happened in that home on May 1st. You could really help out the situation instead of harboring this broad. We don't expect you to talk any sense into her, but you can come out and spill the tea, and you can expose Jack and Lily's killer to great lengths. Cindy, you've talked to this woman, Malaya, daily, sometimes multiple times a day, all about the problems that they had. And you can start right back to why it is that you think that she felt it was okay to move Daniel in after 2 weeks. Not as though it's your fault. You can speak at length, and you may as well, because it's out now. And it would be a lot more efficient if you came out and took hold of the situation rather than us. And I don't sound like Janie and Daniel. That's Janie and Daniel wanting to pass the buck off. These fucking assholes are getting multiple life sentences. Holy fuck. None of this has anything to do about judging, but I'll tell you when we start judging, because that's when we talk about their looks, their clothes, their shitty RV. You assholes are giving us all kinds of things to judge you upon. We're talking about Jack and Lily Sullivan and what happened that night, fuckface. Helicopter Grandma. Jack and Lily never had a chance, and here we are today. It's even hard to say that. They had a chance. They had all kinds of chances. They had the opportunity to live a long, healthy, prosperous life. I avoid the cliche. The people that were supposed to be in charge of making those safety decisions for them failed them. They lied. The children don't know any difference because of how they learn and grasp, but even in this circumstance, they were so delayed because of severe neglect happening at home. You can see half the shit Malaya is preoccupied with, and it's representative of it now. And her buddy Haley sees it now. You guys are going out, she's dolling herself up to go around with you guys as a chaperone to help her hang up posters for kids that really nobody needs to be looking for. She knows where they are already. You're helping this fucking facade. Oh, we just need to keep all of this information so private. No, we fucking don't. No, we don't. Not at this point in time. How much worse could it be? We know so much about it now. I would be embarrassed to be quiet. You have to say something in your defense. Anyway, let's get this started. Cindy could come out and she could tell you everything that's important to the situation to bring charges towards the perpetrators in this, meaning Daniel and Janie. But she won't. Why? Because she knows if she does that, then Malaya, is she setting herself up for Malaya? Is she applying the laws of the sea on land here? You're really letting Jack and Lily down. You're prioritizing Malaya's freedom at this point in time and enabling every last bit of it. You could come out and expose the whole fucking situation right now. You do know, Cindy, You have a better idea, and Wade have a better idea than anybody. There's all kinds of ways that you can make public statements. Nobody's asking that you come and join a live stream. In fact, I tell you, I'd recommend you not do that. Don't do that. Nobody's looking to use you. How do we know they haven't, though? How do we know that they haven't told the RCMP all and everything? I trust that Wade has. I feel that Wade has. Maybe I'm being selfish. Maybe I'm being too selfish in all of that and telling her to go public with it. See, if she goes, let's just say Cindy comes out and goes public with all the things that we already suspect, and it's really not new information, but only what it does is make Daniel, the real perpetrator, close up even harder and give him more of a forecast of what's really to come down the line, because he already knows what it is other witnesses are saying against him in the public. That's a conflict of interest when it comes to bringing justice at this point in time where we are in the investigation. Although, let me be clear here. There's nothing that they're going to do or say at this point in time. It's all happened. It's all been said. It's all spilt. There's no Daniel's going to go and learn how to become smart at this point in time and talk his way out of it. Fuck, you have a better chance passing the bar exam before you get out of this one, Danny. This is what happens when you come to the police with a false report. Unfortunately. Don't mistake it for the RCMP not doing their job because they don't have them behind bars yet. That would be you not understanding the law and how police work. Especially in a circumstance like this. They can't come out and tell you exactly what's happening. Why people stick to this is these talking points is a real problem that comes from down from the mainstream, I should say. You murdered, red-rummed 2 children. You cleaned up. You fabricated a story to tell police about the kids just voluntarily walking off. Now, it would be fine, and usually, maybe, might even work sometime. But in this circumstance, when we're talking about a 4 and a 6-year-old, there's so many things that just aren't plausible. There's so many things that don't need to be taken into consideration. They spent so much time trying to insist that the kids must have went into the bush. But when they came back with no children, that's when it really came out that they weren't moving, maybe meaning Daniel and Janie, about linguistically committing to any rational or common sense, logical thing that happened to Jack and Lily. And it comes through, and you can go back and see it with some of the comments that were said between each other back to the police at the time during the search. Janie was so suspicious because none of Malaya's side of the family participated in the search. And of course, that's going to make them suspicious in all of this. At that point in time, could you imagine? Put yourself in that situation, getting that call from an individual that you already know is sketchy AF. You already know the drug habits and what goes along with this scum. But yeah, you come over to their house because the kids are missing and there's food there. And, well, where should we start? Well, you don't really know because nobody wants to interact with you.
60 years. I was born and raised here. My homestead is where my brother lives. So, I know the traffic on this road. After 26 years, I know the traffic on this road. Now, nobody is going to go by here and say, oh, there's 2 kids in the yard. Let's stop and pick them up. For number 1, that's where those 3 questions come into.
So now she proceeds to undermine the stranger abduction theory, if you will. So there's no possible things left for her to undermine. Leaving her psychological environment that much more obscured. All DM and MBM had to do was file their taxes to get the baby bonus money, Trail Hiker. In that sense, and together. So now that they became common law in the tax man's eyes, and it's not like that's a bad thing. I mean, that's a good thing. There's benefits to being married to people and having a family. Okay? Like, what was it that this asshole was trying to avoid? It had everything to do with what Wade was talking about, him owing, if it is true, him owing all of this money because he was working the system for a period of time, and they caught on to it. Like, that just tells you the type of scumbag he is. And just what he'll do to try to get a little bit of money in the moment. That's a total addict move. Why is my chat disconnected? Oh, shit. 3.5 hours. Oh, my God. Hold on. We got to get a drink.
And here's another thing for you to think about. I lived here for 26 years. I've raised... And as far as Malaya being isolated, that's a bunch of bullcrap. Because she used to drive Daniel to work when he was working full-time. And there's something else I'm going to straighten you out about too in a minute. When she wanted the car, she would drive Daniel to work. She would go do what she had to do. She would even bring Daniel his lunch. She would come home. Then she would go back in the evening and pick Daniel up. So she was free to go whenever she wanted to go. And another thing, the reason why Daniel is only working 1 day a week is because of this here tariff tax. The mill is having problems getting logs.
This tariff tax is the only reason why Daniel's not working. Just another reason for Daniel to complain about Donald Trump in people's comment section, for those creators or people who are out there recognizing that. Every so often you'll come across some idiot trying to incorporate or politicize something or blame him on being a Donald Trump lover in her comments or something like this. It's just something ridiculous. You know where it's coming from. It's probably that idiot Derpwood or his little entourage or one of their sock puppets. But it comes, and you can hear it in Janie's voice. The same sort of argument in that sense. Whatever floats your boat, I'd like to think that Daniel's not working because he's not good enough of an employee. End of. I would suspect he's a little fucking bitch. And they couldn't wait to lay him off. He'd probably be the first one in line. But somebody needed a gopher.
That's the only reason why the mill is down 1 day a week. And that started in, I think, February. They started going down 1 day a week. But just in the last 3 weeks, they've been full-time. They've been 3 weeks steady. 5 days a week. So, if anybody thinks that Malaya was isolated, she had every chance in the world to go wherever she wanted. That's all she had to do was ask Daniel for the car, and Daniel gave her the car. And there in April, she bought a car on her own. So...
it wouldn't matter what it is. There's nothing that Janie's going to be presented where she's going to end up agreeing and dovetailing on anybody's points. Notice that she's positioned herself and have to really, it's always something negative. No, it's this. No, it's this. And I was at this reason.
If she wanted to leave, she could have left in April. She could have left any time she wanted. She knew me. She knew if she wanted to leave and Daniel put up a fuss, she knew that I would step in.
Danny was raised by wolves in this sense. There's no possible way that Janie was any type of a mother to these two boys. I think we're seeing that. Holy shite. Like, when you listen to her, when does it ever stop? You know, I understand it's just a certain particular glimpse into a greater part of a person, but I don't think there's much more to Janie. I think she's got a perma bitch on. She didn't buy the car on her own. Grandma bought it for her. Is that right, Bonnie? Hello, by the way. It's hard to say, Miss K. I think that some people just don't like these organizations. A lot of people have a pre-way, like no matter what, you deal with Child Protective Services, no matter if there's anything to the allegation or not, you deal with them in the same way. But Malaya and Daniel in the circumstance were being dishonest to them. They were actively lying to them about the problems in their relationship and the issues that were affecting Jack and Lily. That's the difference. Now it's the tight one. You know, you expect there to be lies. Like they're only human in that sense. I think just a sec.
And make her go or let her go. I would not stop her from leaving. Even though Daniel's my son, if that's the time, I would step in. So, people can't say that she didn't want to leave here because she was isolated, that she couldn't go anywhere. That's a bunch of bull crap. And she had the use of my vehicle too, whenever she wanted it. So, if people think that she didn't want to live here because she was isolated,
so Janie just chooses to talk about something that nobody's really referring to. No, a psychological isolation, Janie. Not physically isolated, but that as well to a degree. She's controlled out there, and you should, as a woman, recognize that. But instead, you're absolutely denying the obvious. First of all, it's Nova Scotia, not fucking Rodeo Drive. There's not a whole lot of going to places for there to be a person to do in the first place, especially when you're out there in Lansdowne. Who cares about Truro? But I mean, Truro's not that big to begin with. But at least they probably have a corner store. She probably has friends close by. She was taken out of her everyday life because of your son in a fling. And now the kids that they brought along are MIA. And Kent's selling keychains like a chomo under the guise of spreading awareness. Freak. So she's choosing to not talk about the issues in their relationship, obviously. Of course, she probably didn't want to know. There's a difference in saying that you don't know and what she does and says that their relationship is fine. She's really going to the extent to try to cover up. She's going that extra mile. Could just not say anything. Avoid it altogether, but why is it you have to replace it with a bunch of nonsense? Just the way she likes to tell stories, I guess.
She's telling everybody, well, or that's what you're hearing, that's a bunch of bull crap. And if she did want to leave, and I wasn't around to stop Daniel from letting her leave, there's always 911. There's always a way out. No, I'm fine. I'm just thankful that somebody is listening to me and not giving.
Isn't that interesting that you came up with there's always 911, there's always a way out there was no way out for Jack and Lily. You didn't offer Jack and Lily a way out. What was the way out?
Not bashing me for what I'm saying. As I said, the accusation and the rumors have to stop. It's not good for me, for my dog, for my grandchildren especially, for Lily and Jack.
So it's amazing. You can sum it up that her call to action, every creator out there or a person who uploads knows what a call to action is, whether it be, hit that thumbs up, that engagement, leave a comment or subscribe, for example. But the call to action, or send people to a website or another link or business, hers is that she needs people out there to stop with the suspicious statements in the comments insinuating that they're guilty of something. That's her priority. That's her call to action. For you to stop something. Durwood wants you to be quiet. Shh. Keep talking. Keep talking. Especially if you're a girl. If you're a woman, you're going to be contacted by Darren Geddes. Under any number of accounts. The fact that it's coming up to begin with, like it's an issue that she's denying Ginger's mom, tells me that it had to have been. Like, you don't even need to dissect her language, even though, you do, but it just makes sense for their relationship. Why is their relationship any different from anyone else's? Daniel says they're just like everybody else. Well, everybody else needs the same things. They're not different. They're not special. They don't have all kinds of fuck you money. They've got nothing. And they're going to have even less next month. So now she's got a car. She's going to get the heck on out and she's going to leave. And they'll have to make arrangements for Meadow. But old Daniel's future plans don't align. It has Malaya included in all of these. He's put a lot of work into trying to groom her into that position. He's even impregnated her, but it's over time, it's probably changed because he's never really had any true feelings towards her in the first place. It's all been a developing game. Think about how long you really get, like, do you ever really get to know somebody? But even more so when you get in a relationship, sometimes, a year or two,